the next part of our Spectrum conversation. And joining us here on the stage is Phoebus and Enrique from the Spectrum Next project. Marty's staying with us as well to field a few questions of his own. And we're going to chat a little bit about the project, the origins, where we are, where it's going. I think you have a bit of news to share with us as well. Oh, that's always good. But firstly, thank you very much for coming to RETCON this year. We know it's a long way to travel. We really appreciate you being with us today. And also, you've already brought one of the fantastic Spectrum Next machines onto the stage with us today.
You shouldn't touch that one.
Oh, is there something a bit wrong with this one?
It's a unique, that's why. I see people with an Amsterdam affiliation over there.
Yes, they're wonderful people.
They don't seem to be interested in the Spectrum Next, which is a big mistake. I see color people over there as well. Nobody seems to be interested in the Spectrum Next, which is another big mistake. As you'll find out very soon. All right, go ahead. Ask me whatever you want to ask.
Okay. Well, probably first question. Well, the first question is probably going to be: you brought a machine up on stage. You got something to show us?
I've got a few things to show.
Okay. I know you got something big to show us. Anything you want to show us first?
Get out of the way. All right, let's get it out of the way. As you know, what whoever knows, the Next is an FPGA-based computer, which is not emulator-based. Not the least. We try to recreate the original machine the best way possible. Our last announcement in Crash, and we had a version of the QR code to show, so basically we're bringing all the Sinclairs in one machine, but then we said, why stop there? And then since we said, why stop there, we went a way over. You can see what it says there. And it's not the loaded part. Our good friend Steve Days, graphics.
Commodore people, you probably want to have a look at this.
You need to pay attention.
And there you go. We have the C64 running on the Spectrum Next. Everybody, how about that? But I think just as Phoebus gets something running here, this is illustrative of just the versatility of the Next platform.
I'm sorry, of course it's a real Commodore, and this is a real 1541, so it takes some time. I apologize.
Yeah, so standard 1541 loading time, so we'll come back to this on Monday, by which time it will probably be loaded. But the important thing is, this is just really illustrative of what can be achieved with cores on this machine. And really it's illustrative of the impact and the importance of this project. I mean, you've now done 2 iterations of Next, 2 very successful Kickstarters. You didn't learn from the first one because you came back and did it again, so it didn't put you off. But the end result is that we've got, now many thousands of Spectrum Next out there. A growing community, a growing software base. Even here today, we've got a number of Spectrum Next games available for sale. Lots of machines on display showcasing the Next running. It's become, not only a very versatile platform, but a very desirable one.
It's desired for many reasons, but I think for us is because we try to package it the same way the machine was to be packaged back then. So you get your full manual, you know how to use the thing, it's intuitive, it doesn't have you jump through hoops. For example, you have a mister, you have to learn how to put this whole damn thing together, and then you get a half-baked course that never quite works. Okay? What we try always to do is to present a machine that's complete, and you can be happy bringing it home for Christmas. Put it under the tree, that's why the box is the way it is. We have the manual the way it is. It's ready. Well, let's try it.
And I've just got to say, for those of you in the audience, if you don't have a Spectrum Next, one thing I particularly want to flag up is the manual. Now, I backed the first Kickstarter for Spectrum Next. Anti-Attack running on the C64, so it's not C64.
It's a C64 game though.
It's a C64 game, running as if it was on the original hardware. Yeah, you can see it, it's pixel perfect. But yeah, as I said, about the manual. So I backed the first Kickstarter, and I actually had conversations with Phoebus on Facebook about the upcoming manual, and it was talking about how extensive it would be. And I've got to admit, I was thinking, yeah, extensive. We'll probably end up with about 4 pages. Then my next arrived with half a tree in it of manual. It was wonderful. Everything you could possibly need to know about the machine is in this wonderful tome. And it was almost as exciting as getting the machine itself out of the box, was playing and going through that manual.
The whole idea is, as I said, to be excited about the machine. Lots of us, the retro way of doing things is the right way of doing things. So, if you're to give it to someone, who will spend a lot of money, a lot of good, hard work, earn money on the machine like that, you better actually reward them with something they can actually use it. What we want to do with the Spectrum Next is to make a machine that everybody can program, and you can actually build games very easily, even from basic.
That's what absolutely right.
Now you see C64 core, we're not going to stay on a regular machine.
Well, that's nice, isn't it? One of the criticisms originally about the Spectrum Next that I used to hear a lot is it's so expensive, and also it's like getting hen's teeth. We couldn't get them. Well, we're going to hear a bit more about that. But when you think that the Next itself is just a platform, a beautiful looking platform, by the way, probably the nicest production machine I've seen since the original Ron Dickinson machines in their day.
Yeah, this is a Rick Dickinson machine.
Exactly, yeah. Well, but not only that, but of course is actually with the core capability, with the flexibility to put other machines on there, the machines we all know and love, you're getting multiple machines in one. Not compromised, not simply emulators as we see in some other areas. So that's why I fell in love with the Next. I backed the second Kickstarter and finally got it. It was the longest wait. I think it was like 18 months, but it was worth it. And no sooner had I got it, I wanted to run the QL on it, of course, and that was made possible too. So you've got multiple machines in here. So you need to think about it as being simply a Spectrum in that regard, although it does that so beautifully as well. Just wanted to call it out.
Yeah, but it also serves as a springboard for the next stage, right? One of the beauties of the Next is that hardware-wise it's compatible with original machines. I can pick up expansion, put it there, and it will work with the original, right? Now we are working on a Commodore 64 core, and we are licensing the ROMs to be able to...
Yes, by the way, it's going to be licensed fully. We closed the deal today.
But it serves like a springboard for us to design a physical machine that is more suited for that core in the future, including the capability to attach hardware to it.
As it is now, we can attach with adapters original C64 hardware on this. So, and you can load from tape. You can use the tape input that the Next has. But in the future, you'll be able to connect the data set on it and load from the original hardware without any problems.
So it's a nice way to start several projects that expand the community. But above all, our main focus right now is to get the Next in the hands of more people. So when you develop something for it, you'll find a market that can sustain your passion. We do that through several ways. The Next itself, but also enable people like the Anglo guys and the Pi guys, the X-Pi guys, to make machines which are fully compatible that expands the market and get more people in the hands that we could possibly do it ourselves through Kickstarter.
In the end, we want to address as many retro enthusiasts as possible. For now, apart from the C64, which is a complete core as a C64, we have in the works an Amstrad CPC 6128.
Oh yes. Amstrad people, did you hear that?
No, they don't care. But we already have a CPC core. We already have a SAM core, so the SAM Coupe is in the works. We have a DCXT core that works. it's not production ready, it's not up to our standards. For something to go in and be available, it has to be legal, it has to be complete, and it has to be nextified. 3 things. Nextified means we imagine the stage of the development machine when the machine was new and stopped production, and then we take it a step further. Like with Spectrum, we did what the Lockheed would have been, and we took it even further than that. The QL right now, the QL core has $65,000. It has an AY audio, and we'll probably put a SID in there, I'm not sure exactly when. And it has ESP, so it connects to the internet. It speaks to FAT32 formatted hard drives, so it's up to par with the latest developments. It's not a machine that exists in the void of a retro world. The same thing with Spectrum Next. You can talk to the internet. You can download stuff from there. It's very easy. We have the infrastructure set up, so you can go in, just run a little program, you download a game and you play it. Everything in a legal way and everything in a way that respects both the machine and the authors of the software, which is very important to us. What else do I want to say about it? Oh, yeah, we have plenty of things to talk about.
Well, just very quickly while you're getting that ready, one just follow-up question. So, I mean, the one thing that's very clear here is that we moved on considerably from that very first Kickstarter campaign and the original objectives that were being talked about. You know, the Next has very much grown, you know, beyond its original, I suppose, I won't say its original purpose, but its original selling point, which was, you know, it was the next evolution of the Spectrum platform. You know, it gave you that backward compatibility, it also gave you new stuff to update and bring things forward. But now we're going really beyond that now. With all this work on boards, we're showing an incredible level of versatility for this platform. We're really illustrating the power of FPGA over emulation, the ability to deliver some really quite impressive, rock solid iterations of a variety of different machines, all running on one piece of hardware.
First of all, let me tell you the simple truth we've spoken about many times, nobody pays attention. It was always our plan to get here. Actually, our plan is to get further than here.
Yeah.
You've
got to start somewhere, and the Spectrum was a great place to
Spectrum was
start.
a very open platform. Enrique coming from Brazil, which was a very popular base back there, and me coming from Greece, and everybody else got involved originally. Victor or Fabio. We all had this as the closest encounter to whatever computing meant originally for us. That doesn't mean we're agnostic to the other platforms, or we didn't want to bring everything together. One of the biggest problems we have in the retro world is that there is a little bit of animosity, and everybody doesn't like the other guy. We're not in the old in primary school where you're fighting during recess, but my Commodore is better and your Spectrum is better. We would like to have all the machines on one place, doing, and the person that actually uses it can use the best bits of every single one of them, which is the important thing. So what we're going with that is we're moving past that to get even higher, but keep still the premise that a simple person that doesn't have a special knowledge to get and program it on it and do something with it. Something that's productive, enjoyable, and why not? If you see how many people have developed games, and it's profitable.
Absolutely, yes. So, just out of interest, just surveying on credit claim, who here has been into it? So as you see, we've got a pretty good installed user base already, which is hugely encouraging. Again, just out of interest, who got their Spectrum Next in the first Kickstarter rather than second? So who got this in the first Kickstarter? Okay. Right, put your hands down. And who got theirs on the second Kickstarter? So again, 50-50. Oh, and one guy who's got more money than the second ball both.
We have a bit of news for the guys that setting the first Kickstarter. We're discussing with Enrique, and it's been brought to our attention many, many times over the last 9 years, because it's been 9 years. Time passes. Now, regarding Kickstarter 3, I'll pass this to Enrique.
And you need to listen very carefully to this. This is going to be
If you
important.
want to get one, listen.
It's super straightforward, right? Our ambition is to expand the reach of the Spectrum X as far as wide as we can. We now just passed 200 games made exclusively for it, which is way beyond what I thought it was possible when we started. I thought, yeah, maybe a dozen of remakes of the old games will crop up. Now 200 games, you can find them, some of them being sold physically. It's beautiful to see. So we have to enable developers to reach large audiences. And that vein, Kickstarter 3 is coming in July. We're going to do on the 19th of July.
19th of July.
19th of July, we're going to put it out there, and it will come from the box with the new cores as well. So we'll be able to run the QL from the core, the core from the core.
The Commodore will be in there. But you'll be able, if you're Commodore affiliates, okay, you'll be able to play your favorite games immediately with a Kickstarter 3 machine.
Yeah, so it's but it still is a Spectrum at its heart, right? And that's the big goal of it, is to make sure that the Next is in as many hands as we possibly can push it to, so the community can thrive and more cool games can get made. And networking.
And networking.
Yeah.
Because Martin here is the god of networking. You should worship him. Every Sunday, though, not every day.
I was interested to know how many between Kickstarter 1 and 2 units have actually been sold.
When I include the compatibles ones?
Yep.
No, we sold 10,000 units.
10,000.
Yeah,
10,000, wow.
I think we're about 16,000 units with the compatibles as well.
And clearly, that's exactly the sort of footprint you need to encourage more developers to write the next batch of games, the next evolution. Yeah. And how many are you going to make in the next Kickstarter 3?
I have no idea. I never expected Kickstarter 2 to be bigger than the first.
Right.
We will find out when we put it live and cross our fingers.
Well, maybe we can find out from this audience. How many are waiting for Kickstarter 3 to get their hands on the next? Okay, so we've got to go.
Yeah,
There's at least 10.
I think a few more hands might go up in a few minutes' time.
Well, we release them on Friday after the pub run. You never know. Seriously, that's why I'm releasing it on Friday. So if anybody, drinks a lot, there's a Kickstarter after that. Now, the one thing we need to remember is Kickstarter 3, as Enrique said, this is still going to be a Spectrum in its core. But every single machine we touch, it's going to be the machine in its core, and we're going to improve upon it. That's why the QL core has gotten to where it is. Right now, the QL core has $65,000. It has 512 color modes. It has BCM audio, actually higher quality than the Next. It has full access to the ESP, full access to the RTC. So it sees all the Next hardware. The Raspberry Pi is actually coming up next, and the expansion are coming up next. And it's a full 32-bit access to the memory. It's a full 32-bit machine running the 6820 at 44 megahertz right now. It's one of the fastest 68K machines you can get. So if you expect an Amiga, you should, because it's coming.
Did you hear that? One question I do want to ask while I've got you both here. Undertaking a project like this is no small activity at the best of times. Some would say it's a hiding to nothing. Certainly it's a hiding to a lot of sleepless nights. But, what prompted you to actually go all in on producing the Next and bringing it to life? Because let's say, you could have potentially have done this in many easier and cheaper and less risky ways, but you went all in on bringing new original hardware to market under very challenging circumstances.
A real keyboard.
real key, lest we forget the trials and tribulations of getting that keyboard to where it is. But again, this is my point. Bringing a whole new machine like this from scratch to market is not easy, it's not quick, and there are lots of curveballs that come along the way. And you've done it twice now. So I've got to ask, why do it when, frankly, you could have gone down cheaper and easier routes? You could have gone emulation, you could have gone generic FPGA device, but you didn't, and you produced beautiful, wonderful, versatile machines.
Generic FPGA devices are ugly. We don't like ugly things. Doesn't mean it's in there.
Go on, Enrique, let's hear it.
We don't like it to be complicated. We like it to be easy. Easy to use, easy to program, easy to touch, and not be afraid of the machine. It's a different thing if you touch a 1,000-pound machine, like a 65. It's like, man, you break it now if I do something. This, you can open it. I mean, okay, it's not cheap, Okay? We'd love to make it cheaper. If we make more units, it will be cheaper. So you better buy a lot of them, so it's cheaper, even more. But the thing is, it has value over time and it's resilient, it won't break. We've tried a ton of things on it. It has survived even, what did the other guy put on, 50 volts on it?
Yeah. It takes quite a beating.
It takes quite a beating and it keeps on working. So at least we're proud that, it's a very tough little machine. It's tougher than the original Spectrum, which says something. And we'll keep on at it as long as we can. Because the point is that for me,
You want to share with the audience about the next project and what you're hoping to achieve?
that's a little open-ended. I have 2 minutes. Oh, that's easy now. What I hope is for the next, and that's why we started doing it, like after a little while after we got in sync with building it and developing it, what we hope is that to every person that comes in from a specific retro community, to be able to give them the same sense of community based on the next, and to help them have a brand new piece of hardware that can run his favorite software and maybe improve upon it a little bit. We want to be inclusive, not exclusive. So yes, we are Spectrum at heart, but we will be a Commodore at heart, and we'll be a QL at heart, and we'll be an Atari at heart. It's about the hobby itself, the retro computing hobby that's important. And how it brings people together and teaches them something, and after all, makes you a little smarter, The more you learn, the smarter you become. So this is all about this. It's the sense of community. There's nothing else I can give as a message in this.
I think that works well. Enrique, any last words from you?
Can't agree more with P is the community. But also, I really hope we get to the stage that the people who want to make a living of making games and apps for the next, they can do so, because there is a base that supports them in doing so. So that is my main objective. It's a little known fact that we help a lot of developers financially with the procedure of the Kickstarter as well, like for them to make the games and make more stuff available to everybody to play.